It's no secret that The Legend of Heroes is among my favorite video game franchises of all time. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it's one of my favorite media franchises of all time. It really is a wonderful gift to the world in terms of so many things, and yet there is an entire arc of the series that I have yet to get the chance to play. That arc, known as the Crossbell arc, starts with Trails from Zero, and I honestly can't wait to get to play it very soon. What is this game though, and why haven't many people gotten the chance to play it before? Trails from Zero is part of the Trails series, a sub-series of the Legend of Heroes series, which itself is a sub-series of... You know what? If you want to know the origins of the series, check out my Why You Should Play Trails in the Sky video. Here's the information you need to know for this video though. Trails from Zero is the fourth game in the Trails series and the beginning of the Crossbell arc. The Trails games are JRPGs with strong world building and an overarching story, turn-based battles, and a lot of writing. Trails from Zero was developed by Nihon Falcom and released in 2010 for the PSP and then ported to PC in 2011. It takes place after the end of the Liberl arc with Trails in the Sky III and concurrently with the first Trails of Cold Steel game. So why am I talking about my excitement for a game that came out nearly a decade ago? Well, Trails from Zero, or Zero no Kiseki as it is more commonly known, never got a proper localization. The West skipped from Trails in the Sky straight to Trails of Cold Steel with no pause in between for the Crossbell duology. The reason why I'm so excited now, though, is because of an upcoming fan translation for the game that just reached 100% on the text editing process. There are some fan translations already out there, but I believe this one is going to be special. It's been a long project. The whole text-heavy thing makes it hard to localize any of the Trails games, but the team at Geofront has done amazing work both on this and on improvements to the PC port. It is an incredible effort these dedicated fans have put into this game, and I can't wait to enjoy the fruits of their tireless labor. I thank them profusely for bringing me another adventure in this wonderful series, and I encourage all of you to check out the posts on their site documenting their progress and process. Now, onto the game itself. Trails from Zero stars Lloyd Bannings, a rookie in the Crossbell State's police force. Despite being a rookie, he is placed along with three others, Ellie, Tio, and Randy, onto a team as part of the group called the Special Support Section, or SSS for short. Now, the Crossbell State is in a tenuous position on the continent of Zemuria where all the Trails games take place. Crossbell is situated right in between the two largest powers on the continent, the Erebonian Empire and the Calvard Republic, and it's no secret that both powers want to control Crossbell for themselves. Crossbell, though, maintains its fragile independence through playing the powers off each other, but the tension of potential war and invasion never abates. In addition, there are intriguing elements all around the state. Mysteries abound for Lloyd and his friends. Along the way, secrets will be uncovered, enemies will be fought, chests will be looted, barriers will be gotten over. Yes, I was contractually obligated to include that last part. You don't have a contract, hush you! Anyways, all this is set up for a great adventure, and I'm excited to get into how working with the Crossbell Police is different than the braces of Liberl or Class 7 of Erebonia. Plus, Zero has consistent praise from anyone I know who's actually played the game, so good signs at the moment when it comes to the story. I'm excited due to the aforementioned praise for the game's story, but also to give greater insight into returning characters on both the heroes and villains side, and some characters whose categorization as heroes or villains is a little more difficult to figure out. While the main cast is all new, I know for a fact some of my favorites from Trails in the Sky will return at one point or another, and I'm always down to see more of them. I won't spoil who they are though, for those who have managed to stay unspoiled about their identities. Secondly, since Trails from Zero takes place concurrently with the first Trails of Cold Steel game, which I have played, I'm thrilled to get a chance to see another perspective on events occurring around the continent during that time. There are so many interwoven details to the grand arcing story of the Trails games, and I can't wait to uncover new parts of that web. Finally, Trails of Cold Steel 3, which is being released in the West in October, builds off of not just the first two Cold Steel games, but also the Crossbell games. Characters come over, and the expectation is that the player is familiar with those characters and events before playing Cold Steel 3. In order for me to enjoy that game to its fullest, I feel it is necessary to play the Crossbell games. Certainly not a burdensome requirement given how much I love the Trails games. By the way, I want to say that this is only my way of looking at the games, and everyone is entitled to their own way of thinking about the proper order to play the Trails games. Unless that way of thinking is just not playing them, because that's just shameful. Gameplay-wise, I'm really looking forward to seeing Zero's gameplay systems, because many of the defining systems in Cold Steel were first introduced in Zero, and the elements brought over from the Sky games were enhanced as well. For example, the bonding events that give insight into the characters in the more combat-based gameplay, like the updates to the orbments from Trails in the Sky. While the story and characters are what I mainly praise the Trails games for, the gameplay is quite fun as well, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on another version of the system I've spent so many hours playing. If there's one thing the Trails games are consistently criticized about, though, it's about the constant reuse of locations during single arcs, and I get that annoyance, which is one of the reasons I'm excited to explore an exciting new location like Crossbell with a new set of locations to explore and culture to learn. Falcom has done a great job in every arc making a distinct and rich culture for the nations at play, and Crossbell may be their most intriguing nation yet. Certainly the political side alone is fascinating enough without even getting into everything else stuffed into this game. This is just another chance to immerse myself in another well-constructed and thought-out world. In short, one might say I'm excited for Trails from Zero because it is a Trails game. At this point, fans have a pretty good idea of what they are getting when it comes to this series with regards to a deep story, varied characters with many hidden depths, a mix of politics, romance, and mystery, engaging gameplay, and intricate world building. There's not really a series like it out there, and I'm glad that Trails from Zero is getting a fan translation from a group that really seems to appreciate the Trails games and this arc especially. That's great, Rio, you've convinced me to play this game, but since there's not a Western release, how can I buy this game so that I'm still supporting the creators? That's a very good question, person that I just made up for the sake of answering that particular question. There's a site called DL Site whose Japanese store sells digital copies of Falcom games for PC. Helpfully, there is also a guide from the Falcom subreddit which outlines how to buy the game from the store. I've linked it in the description since it's how I bought my copy of the game. I even managed to get it half off since the game routinely goes on sale on the site. I did have to muddle through getting the game to install and play on the computer though, since those instructions weren't included, but I did finally figure it out. If you get the game and are having difficulty getting it to work, please don't hesitate to ask me or others for help. It is almost time to delve into the complicated world of Crossbell, and I once again extend my immense gratitude to those people who made this happen. The Geofront site will also be listed in the description. Both the original translation team and the editing team are credited on their site if you're curious as to who these saints are. Speaking of thanks, I'm also eternally grateful for those of you who watch my videos. Thank you for all your support. For all the likes, shares, comments, and subscriptions, I'm thankful. Please leave any of the previously listed things if you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day, and happy gaming.